Hello, yummy mummies and mummies to be, yummy daddies and daddies to be. Welcome to the maternity diary. In fact, welcome to a new era of the maternity diary. Yes, thank you so much for everyone that has followed our journey from the east to the west of Canada. Yeah, the famous journey to the west is over. Thank you so very much for following our journey, for all your comments throughout the journey, the best wishes that we had. In fact, I'm so overwhelmed by the love that I had from all of you. You're also my family. Thank you for journeying with us throughout this journey, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Yes, okay, so now you can see that's my beautiful new home. And yeah, okay, so this flowers, actually, I got a very pleasant surprise from my neighbor who stays right opposite the house. So one evening I hear the doorbell. We go to the doorbell only to see our neighbor, and she brought us this beautiful flower that is featuring in our video today. Thank you so much. It's fresh flowers. It's so beautiful. I appreciate it. And the warm welcome is just incredible. It's amazing. So thank you so much. Thank you to my new neighbor Christine and her husband Kevin. If you ever get to watch this video, I just want you to know I appreciate you. I appreciate the warm welcome you've given to me and my family, and we look forward to being the best neighbors ever, to make every other neighbor jealous of us. Okay. Thank you. So everyone that has followed our journey, okay, this entire journey has been incredibly one of the longest, in fact, the longest we've ever had to do individually and also as a family. So today I'm going to share with you my top road trips, long distance trip with kids, okay, and we are live. Mummies and mummies to be, yummy daddies and daddies to be. I know that you may be taking on a journey very soon, a road trip very soon, even flight trips very soon. And so I just thought, there are so many things that work for me during this trip. Why don't I just share it with you guys? So today, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, I have a few tips I'm going to give to you. So my first tip is download a playlist. Download a playlist. Like, it's some of the things that people do not really think about during a trip. All they're thinking about is, okay, let's pack the bags, let's get everything ready, let's plan the trip. Okay, we start from here and end there. But this is highly underestimated, and I'll tell you the reason why I'm saying it's very important to download playlists. Okay, so especially when you're taking a road trip, you miss, like, you lose connection a lot of the times. So if you do not download playlists, I'm telling you, you get to certain places and there is absolutely no connection. The car will be quiet, and sometimes, I mean, it doesn't mean the car doesn't have to be quiet. We need quiet time, okay? But then it can be very annoying. Like for me, there were so many places that we'll get to, and for a whole 30 minutes to 40 minutes, there's absolutely no connection. Okay, so that means that there's no music at all, nothing, especially to entertain the kids as well. And my playlist, I don't mean like just me. I talk about like playlists, that songs that my husband likes, music he likes, music I like, because trust me, we have very different tastes, okay? And we have also kids playlists as well. So make sure you download all these in advance, okay? Even if it's a flight trip, you can also, it can be very helpful because not every flight has Wi-Fi. So you may lose like the connection sometimes, and you will definitely need to have your playlist to keep you sane when you have little kids, okay? And to keep you from sleeping. Okay, my very next tip is just connected to this one, okay? Download the maps in advance for road trips. Download the maps in advance because, like I said, you lose connection a lot of times. And if you do not have your maps downloaded, you're going to be in big trouble. Okay, so please do download your maps. Next is pack Tylenol. Okay, Tylenol is like one of the safest painkillers you can have for the entire family, especially for kids. So do pack some Tylenol. Your kids may have fever, they may have headaches, you can even like feel sick at different parts of the journey. So having Tylenol is very important. Let me tell you one thing I did with Tylenol. I'm not saying go abuse Tylenol or don't go abuse Tylenol. I'm only a biochemist, but then I don't have any other knowledge apart from my biochemistry knowledge when it comes to this. Okay, so by Tylenol, what I did and my husband did was after every day, like the end of every drive, when we get to the hotel, before we sleep, we will take Tylenol before we sleep. And that's really helped us because you don't wake up tired, you don't wake up with body aches. And trust me, you're sitting for 8-10 hours in the car, your body is likely to break down at any point in time. Okay, so we're taking Tylenol every single day, once a day at the end of each day, and then we wake up feeling more refreshed to continue another journey to the west. Okay, so the next thing is pack a variety of snacks. I mean, parents of toddlers, I'm telling you, toddlers are one of the pickiest humans I've ever seen in my own whole life. Like, my toddler is so picky, he wouldn't eat so many things. So like, I was very concerned throughout this journey. I was concerned even before we started. I was like, what's my son going to eat? Because he had like only 4 things he would eat. And I'm like, there are certain things that there's no way we can get anywhere else. And even if we get it, it's not the same as the one mommy prepares. So he's still not going to eat it, okay? So you can imagine like the stress that I went through. So what I did was I packed like so many snacks, mini packs of cereal, like different variety of cereal, very colorful ones also. But make sure they are healthy. Sometimes even if they are not healthy, I mean, it's a road trip. Come on, for how long would a road trip take? Just give them what can keep them up, okay? And pack mini juice, the way chocolate milk that doesn't have to be in the fridge. We packed all of that, and especially when we get to like shops that like have stores like Costco, we'll stop and buy some of these things because I mean, we had bags in the back of the car. Okay, we cannot have like so much because we don't have the space for it. Also, a very important thing is make sure you have ice bags, ice packs that you can put like in a small mini lunch box so that you can keep some of the things cool. So in as much as most of the things are not things that have to be in the fridge, sometimes like it gets hot and you just need something to cool you down, to hydrate you, okay? And sometimes taking something cold can freshen you up. So don't forget your ice packs, don't forget your ice bags as well. And whenever you get to the hotel every day, remove the ice packs and put them in the freezer of the fridge that you have in the hotel to refreeze, ready for the next day. Okay, my next tip, okay, this one, not many of you will agree, but I actually didn't agree in the very beginning, but later I realized it was very helpful. So what we did was we do our longest drive first, okay? So for instance, if we have 10-hour journey, we do 4 hours straight or 5 hours straight up in the morning. So usually we set up by 7, latest 8, and then we just drive non-stop, like non-stop. Because usually in the morning, everything is calm, everyone is calm, there's no traffic as well. And usually like kids would lose interest or become like tired, exhausted, getting to the end of the day. And even you yourself who is driving, you could feel very tired close to the end of the day. So if you can do your longest drive first, please do, okay? Just keep going, just keep going. There were times I would look at my phone like, what? It's 4 hours already. I didn't even realize that because it was in the morning that we took this drive. You see what I mean? Yeah. Okay, so allow for as many stops as possible. Look, sometimes you don't have to pre-plan everything. Like, don't plan that you're going to stop like after 4 hours, come what may. No, try and take as many stops as possible. And this is not just even for you alone, it's for the kids to stretch their legs, run around. And me, what we did was we made sure that we stopped at playgrounds, okay? So we stopped at so many playgrounds and the kids would run around and they're always so excited. It helps to stretch their legs, stretch their bodies, stretch up a little bit like this. Because in the car you cannot do that, so you get what I mean? And there's no nicer feeling than being able to stretch yourself like Okay, so this is also another controversial thing for most parents. I know that most parents use this as a means of like keeping their kids busy, especially in situations like this. But for me, I'll tell you this. Let your iPads, let your tablets be your very last resort for entertaining your kids. Look, kids don't have to be entertained all the time, especially like for the first part of the drive. You don't have to entertain them. Let them look out, look at the trees, look at the mountains, look at the water. Let them look out, okay, and enjoy the view a little bit. And let your iPad be the last resort. If all means of entertaining them or they get cranky and tired, that is when you use the iPad, okay? It's really important because we have a lot of kids that are so addicted to the screen right now, and I'm scared for the future generation, okay? I'm really scared. Years from now, I don't know, people are going to be glued, or maybe, I don't know. Don't mind me, but seriously, let your iPad be the very last resort, okay? Even if it's an hour to the end of the journey or 2 hours to the end of the journey, yeah, that's fine, but not throughout the journey. Honestly, you're going to regret it, especially if you cannot charge the iPad and then you finish up the battery life way before the end of the journey. You're going to regret it. Trust me, you are. Also, this was something I never did, but then I realized how important it was, and it is to carry a power bank for your phones, okay? If your phone is connected to the car, that's fine. We wear two, so at any point in time, one person's phone is connected. But for me, let's say my phone is not connected, and usually nowadays the phone's like by 6-7 hours time, especially if you're doing a lot of videos and pictures, trust me, they're going to die very quickly. So do carry a power bank, even if you live in the best place in the world where there's no doomsaw, where there's no light off and there's electricity running every time. Still do carry a power bank because you never know when it'll be important. Okay, my next tip is when you get to some of the stops that you buy food, maybe like McDonald's, Tim Hortons, any place at all, always opt out for the kids meal, okay, for the kids. And I'm saying this not because of the food actually, because most of these kids meal package come with like activities for kids, okay? So it's also a means of entertaining the kids. So sometimes you can buy like a McDonald's for kids package, kids meal, and it will come with like drawing activities or maze or zigzag, like different kinds of games for them to play. So do opt for that. Sometimes they actually come with toys too, so yeah, on your way you can be gathering some of these toys as you go along. Okay, so the next one that I think is very important, that is it can be controversial to some parents, but then yeah, for me, I think it's not that controversial, okay? So I do have two kids. One is potty trained, one is not. However, on the trip, that was like the biggest headache, one of the biggest headaches I had about what to do for my toddler who is potty trained. And so I resorted to the almighty Pullups, okay? Just resort to that. I know sometimes like we are concerned that what if like they regress and stuff like that. It's okay. It's okay for them to regret. It's absolutely okay. Just wear them the pull-ups, okay? Sometimes, look, even though you're going to be stopping as much as possible for them to pee, still do wear them the pull-ups to prevent accidents. Trust me, like, it was my biggest concern. And then when we arrived here, it took a few days for my son to reset. So he had really retrogressed, and I was so concerned because he was getting ready to start daycare, and I'm like, how is he going to start daycare when he's peeing on himself and stuff like that? Yeah, but then it only took a few days and he was back to himself. So don't hesitate to use Pullups. Me, I wore him Pullups, and I still made sure that at every single stop he would pee. Okay. And at a point I was like, I wish I had Pullups for adults where I would wear myself too, because sometimes I'm holding the pee, I'm like, yeah. So don't hesitate, okay, to wear the Pullups. It's very important for you, especially for long trips. And don't be too concerned about whether they are going to regress or not. They will come back to normal. That's kids. They are smarter than you think. Okay, the next thing is use a head support for your kids during their naps. It really helps with that. You know, sometimes you're sleeping, you're like this. Imagine your child constantly in that state, especially if you're traveling over days. They can get so exhausted, and you wouldn't want your child to be irritated, to be cranky during a long trip. It makes things so much worse. So much worse. So if you are interested in the head support, just link me up in the comment section and I will hook you up with one, okay? The next thing that I have to say is wet wipes are a must. They are a must. Look, even when I'm not doing road trips, with or without the kids, I'm out, wet wipes are always in my bag because they are very useful, especially when you're in the car, you're eating, drinking. It's not just for personal hygiene. All these can be very handy, okay? They come in very handy. So you can use it for yourself, for anything that spills in the car, for anything, any mess that happens, just use the wet wipes, okay? It's really good, especially for freshening you up. When you're even hot, you can pour some cold water on and then you use it on yourself. Okay guys, so last but not the least of my top tips is keep discussions very light. Look, we underestimate this, okay? Usually when you're a couple, even the lightest conversations can become very heavy, gloomy, dark, okay? Be intentional, okay, about what you discuss during a road trip like this. Make sure that you keep your discussions to things like what you're seeing on the road. Wow, look at that mountain. Look at that water. Look at that bird. Look at this view. Yeah, keep it that light. Even sometimes talking about the kids in the car can be turned into something ugly, heavy, and depressing. Don't talk about things like finances in the car. Don't talk about things like family. Don't talk about things like, what else? Like, just keep your discussions like be very intentional about the things that you talk about when you are doing a road trip, because it can affect you greatly, your mental health. Even like if you're driving a long trip, you don't want to now feel so heavy whilst you're driving. You have to feel light, like a feather in the air, okay? So that the wind can carry you nicely to your destination. Don't discuss things that you know will trigger gloominess, trigger heaviness between you and your spouse. And couples, like, I'm telling you, like, I'm a witness to that. I have gone through it a lot of times. Sometimes the lightest discussion can become something else. So try to keep your conversations really light. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. You learned something new. If you're planning a road trip soon yourself with your family, I hope some of these tips will be very useful for you. And let me know in the comment section if there are any other tips that you think could have been very important. These are the things that I noted down during my trip that I think were very important in we having a very successful journey. So I hope that they'll be very useful to you. And thanks to Christine again and Kevin for this beautiful flower to make my setup beautiful. I didn't have to do a lot. All I had to do was to put this there. Fresh flowers, and they smell so great. Okay, so thank you so much, Christine. We appreciate it, and I look forward to getting to know you a lot more. And we are going to make the best neighbors and make all our other neighbors jealous. Yeah, we will. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'll be best friends with all my neighbors. Anyway, so thank you so much, and I do really appreciate every one of you that has followed us through this journey. I know some of the legs could be boring because it's just long drives and all, but you stuck through, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate you moving on with me, and yeah, you're family to me also. I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm now a Cochraneite. If you're ever passing through Cochrane, Calgary, Banff, going to Lake Louise, just hit me up and we could connect. You never know. I could show you some of the nice places here. So thank you so much. And everybody, guys, until the next video, don't forget to stay happy, stay healthy, stay beautiful. And even if you can't do any of these things, one thing you should never forget is that God loves you. And if you know God loves you, He's going to make you feel healthy, happy, and make you feel beautiful because you are loved and cherished. Until the next video from me. Thank you and see you.
Live my life like it's my last day. Live my life like it's my last day. So I'm gonna live.